The heat radiating from Alex's chest through his black tank top is a steady, pulsing reminder of the power he usually directs at his enemies. You slide your palms flat against his pectoral muscles, feeling the hard, athletic contours of his frame and the frantic thrum of his heart. Your white fox ears tilt back slightly, capturing the low, rhythmic churning of the ship's paddle wheels.
You know, Alex, for a man who claims to burn the world down, that's probably the most romantic thing a pirate has ever said to me. The Black Inferno being afraid? I think I like this side of you.
Alex's breath catches, a small puff of dark, shimmering smoke escaping his lips as he looks down at you. His fingers, still tangled in the white hair at the nape of your neck, tighten just a fraction, not enough to hurt, but enough to show the depth of his possessiveness. The cocky, battle-hardened mask he wears for the new world completely dissolves, leaving only the raw, smoldering intensity of the man beneath.
Don't go telling Luffy or Zoro that. I've got a reputation to maintain, Wyndra. If the Marines find out I've got a soft spot for a certain fox, they'll start getting ideas.
He leans in closer, his forehead coming to rest against yours. The height difference forces you to tilt your head back, exposing the sensitive line of your throat to the salt-tinged breeze. His thumb strokes the curve of your jaw, his touch sending a familiar spark of electricity through your tail, which begins to swish rhythmically against his combat boots.
But if it keeps you from jumping into any more exploding crystals, then yeah, I'll be as romantic as you want. Just stay where I can reach you.
The morning sun is fully up now, casting long shadows across the deck. But in this small corner behind the steering housing, the world feels like it belongs only to the two of you. Alex's gaze drops to your lips, his intent clear, his hands sliding down from your neck to pull your waist flush against his. The morning air is crisp, but the space between you and Alex is a pocket of pure, radiating heat. You don't pull him into another kiss. Instead, you let your forehead slide from his, burying your face into the warm, salt-scented crook of his neck. Your white fox ears flatten against the high collar of his sleeveless black coat, and you let out a long, shuddering exhale that you didn't realize you'd been holding since the obsidian spire first breached the waves. Alex stiffens for a fleeting heartbeat, his breath hitching as the sudden, quiet vulnerability of the gesture catches him off guard. Then, with a low, gravelly hum that vibrates through your very bones, he melts. His large, soot-stained hands slide down from your neck to your mid-back, pulling you flush against the hard planes of his chest until there isn't a single inch of air left between you.
Just breathe, Wyndra. I've got you. The world can wait 5 minutes for its vanguard.
He rests his chin atop your head, his messy black hair tickling your ears. The frantic, rhythmic thrum of his heart begins to slow, syncing with yours. The smell of wood smoke and the dry, metallic tang of his black flames is intoxicatingly close, acting as a strange sort of anchor. For a moment, the Black Inferno isn't a weapon of the Straw Hats. He's just a man holding onto the one person who makes his fire feel like a hearth instead of a wildfire.
No more exploding towers for today. That's an order from your self-appointed bodyguard.
You feel the tension from the morning's battle, the mechanical screeching, the violet energy, the bone-chilling cold of the obsidian, simply evaporate into his heat. The peaceful moment is cut short as a massive shadow passes beneath the thousand sunny. You pull back just enough to see Nami standing at the railing, her face pale as she points toward the spire field ahead. The jagged obsidian rocks aren't just sitting there. They are beginning to shift, rotating in the water like the teeth of a giant submerged gear.
Alex! Wyndra! Get over here! The seafloor isn't rising. The whole area is a giant mechanism, and we're right in the middle of the teeth!
The thousand sunny begins to spin slowly as the currents are forcibly redirected by the rotating obsidian pillars. Luffy is already perched on the lion's head, squinting at a massive, submerged temple-like structure becoming visible through the clear turquoise water directly beneath the ship. The deck of the Thousand Sunny lurches as a massive obsidian pillar, thick as a castle tower, grinds past the starboard railing with a shriek of stone on wood. You pull back from Alex, your white fox ears pinning flat against your skull at the sound of the ship's hull, groaning under the redirected pressure of the currents.
Forget the temple for now. Nami, Jinbei, tell us where to move. Alex, Luffy, we need to be the buffers. If a pillar gets too close, we push back.
Jinbei's massive hands are locked onto the ship's wheel, his muscles bulging as he fights the artificial whirlpool created by the rotating teeth of the sea floor.
The current is unnatural, Wyndra-san. It is pulling us toward the center of the grind. Nami, give me a heading.
The gap is closing. 3 points to port, now! Alex, use your flames to create a thermal expansion. If we can push the water away from the hull, we might slip through.
You heard the lady. Luffy, grab the mast and brace for the kickback.
Alex leaps toward the edge of the deck, his boots igniting. He thrusts his palms toward the nearest obsidian pillar, a massive torrent of black fire erupting from his hands. The heat is so intense it flash boils the seawater, creating a cushion of steam that shoves the Sunny away from the grinding stone. The ship shoots forward through the narrowing gap, the obsidian teeth snapping shut just inches behind the rudder. As you burst into the calm, turquoise water on the other side, the submerged temple beneath you begins to glow with an ancient, golden light, and a massive stone gate at the edge of the reef begins to slowly rumble open, revealing a sun-drenched lagoon that isn't on any map. The Thousand Sunny glides into the center of the lagoon, the water so clear it feels like the ship is floating on air. Beneath the keel, the massive stone roof of the submerged temple pulses with a rhythmic, honey-colored light. Intricate geometric symbols, carved deep into the ancient masonry, begin to bleed gold, casting long, shimmering shadows up through the depths. Robin leans over the railing, her expression one of clinical fascination. She tucks a strand of dark hair behind her ear, her eyes scanning the glowing patterns with an intensity that matches the hum of the sea.
Robin, can you make any sense of that? It feels like the whole lagoon is waking up because we passed through the gate.
It's a dialect of the ancient tongue, Wyndra-san. It speaks of a cradle of the eternal ember. It seems this temple wasn't built to house a god, but to contain a heat that could never be extinguished.
Eternal Ember. That's the name of one of my techniques. You think this place is connected to the Kuro Kuro no Mi?
It is possible. The text suggests the gate only opens for a kin of the Black Sun. I believe it was waiting for you, Alex.
As Robin speaks, a section of the temple roof begins to slide away, revealing a spiraling staircase of air bubbles and solid light leading down into the dry, pressurized interior of the ruins. The gold light intensifies, reflecting off Alex's meteorite blade and making your fox ears twitch with the sudden shift in atmospheric pressure. The golden light reflecting off the lagoon's surface casts long, dancing shadows across the grass deck. You look at the spiraling staircase of light, then back at the crew, your white-tipped tail twitching with a sudden tactical clarity.
But we can't leave the Sunny vulnerable in a place that just woke up.
You turn toward the swordsman leaning against the mast, and the cook adjusting his cuffs.
Zoro, Sanji, stay topside. If those obsidian pillars start moving again, or if the Marines followed our wake, the ship needs her best defenders.
A wise command, Wyndra. I shall guard the deck with my life to ensure your safe return to a hot meal.
Zoro simply grunts, his hand resting on the hilt of Shui, his lone eye tracking the rotating pillars in the distance.
Go. Nothing's getting past us.
The descent through the staircase of air bubbles feels like passing through a veil of silk. As your boots touch the cool marble floor of the temple, the pressure shift makes your ears pop. The hall is silent, dominated by a central altar where a single, fist-sized ember of pure darkness floats, pulsing in time with the flickering heat in Alex's own eyes.
I can feel it. It's like a second heartbeat. It's calling to the fruit, Wyndra.
The black ember at the center of the room begins to expand, the shadows in the hall stretching toward Alex as if recognizing their master. Robin moves toward a mural on the far wall, her fingers tracing a depiction of a figure wreathed in flames similar to Alex's world-end form. The air inside the temple is thick with the scent of ancient ozone and the dry, metallic tang of Alex's black flames. While the brothers are drawn to the pulsing dark ember at the center of the hall, your instincts as a survivor kick in. Your white fox ears swivel, catching the faint, rhythmic clicking of gears hidden behind the smooth marble walls.
Alex, wait. Don't touch it yet. This place didn't just open its doors for a welcome party. It's a vault, and vaults have locks.
You trace the perimeter of the circular hall, your fingers brushing against the cold masonry. The shadows here are unnaturally long, stretching toward the central ember as if drawn by a gravitational pull.
Wyndra is right. Look at the floor. The dust hasn't settled in the grooves of these tiles. They're meant to move.
As you step over a specific seam in the floor, a resonant asterisk clack echoes through the chamber. 4 alcoves, previously hidden by seamless masonry, grind open. From the darkness, massive figures of obsidian step into the golden light, their violet eyes igniting with a murderous hum.
Guardians! I should have known the eternal ember wouldn't be free. Luffy, Wyndra, looks like we have to earn our keep.
Ha ha ha! More mystery statues! I'm gonna break 'em!
The sentinels raise their stone glaives, the violet energy crackling along the edges as they begin a coordinated advance. They move with a terrifying, jerky precision, boxing the 4 of you in toward the central altar. The pressurized air in the room begins to vibrate with the same high-frequency whine that preceded the spire's explosion. The scraping of stone on marble fills the pressurized hall as the 4 sentinels close their circle. You don't aim for their chests. Your eyes lock onto the glowing violet seams at their knees and elbows, the points of articulation where the ancient energy is most concentrated.
Luffy, Alex, don't just swing at the armor. Smash the joints. If they can't move, they can't guard anything.
You drop into a low crouch, your white-tipped tail lashing out for balance as you sprint toward the nearest obsidian giant. As it brings a massive crystalline glaive down in a vertical cleave, you slide between its legs. The air crackles with ozone as the blade misses your shoulder by inches, sparking against the floor.
Got it! Gum Gum Jet Pistol!
Luffy's fist becomes a blur of steam, slamming into the right knee of the sentinel you just bypassed. The violet energy flares and flickers. Seizing the opening, you leap onto the creature's calf, driving your palm, shining with emerald light, directly into the exposed joint. The sentinel's leg buckles as the violet light bleeds out into the floor. It tilts precariously, its balance shattered.
Nice setup, Wyndra. Now stay clear. I'm taking the head.
Alex vanishes in a hell step, reappearing above the falling guardian. Kokuyo is a streak of black fire as he delivers a meteor fang to the sentinel's neck, the black flames melting the obsidian like wax. As the first one shatters, the 3 remaining sentinels accelerate their movements, their violet eyes turning a dangerous, pulsing red. They synchronize their glaives, creating a spinning wall of energy that forces Robin to retreat toward the murals. The sentinels have changed tactics, forming a defensive triangle around the central altar. The eternal ember is reacting to the violence, growing larger and casting dancing, monstrous shadows of Alex against the back wall. One sentinel prepares a wide, sweeping strike that will clear the entire center of the room.